Can you tell at this point that I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just slapping shadow on my face and hoping for the best? Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you the next episode in the Dust Collectors series that I'm doing with the beautiful Paula over at A Beauty Guru Made Me Do It. So I'll have her link down in the description and also up in the cards for you to check her out if you haven't already. A quick recap of what this series entails. Paula and I are using the items in our collection that are collecting dust that we haven't touched in a while, if at all, and we're trying to get some use out of them in this Get Ready With Me style videos. So today I'm actually going to be using one of my I say newer palettes, but I've had this for probably a couple months, and as you can see, it is still in its bubble wrap. So this is the palette I'm going to be using today. But first off, let's go through what is going on with my face. I have already used my moisturizer, my eye cream, and also a bit of SPF. And now we are going to do the rest of my base makeup, but because of time constraints and the fact that I think watching me just apply stuff in slow-mo for a good 20 minutes will be very boring, we're going to fast forward through this with some lovely copyright-free music. Let's get to it. Much, and we're back. So as you can see, I have done my base makeup, and just a quick reminder that I don't wear foundation, so that's why you didn't see me put foundation on. I have put on my eye primer, which is this Revlon Colorstay, and we're ready to get into the palette I'll be using today. So this is my palette here, and I'm wondering, can any of you guess what it is down in the comments before I pull it out just from the color of this packaging? I so desperately wanted this palette. I haunted Beauty Bay until it come back on sale, and I even clicked that little button that says let me know when it is returned. And that is the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. This is my only pastel palette that I own, and it is so pretty. I know that a lot of people commented that this was old hat when it came out, that it was overdone, that pastels were no longer in, but I desperately wanted it, and considering it was only 17 Australian dollars, I was quite happy to buy it once it come back on sale, obviously. So that probably indicates it was probably a lot more anticipated and wanted rather than what was expected. Anyway, so this is the shadows I'm going to do today. Honestly, like I said, this is my first pastels palette. I don't own a pastels palette. I don't really know how to use these. I figure I'm going to use them as I would any other rainbow palette. Though I do have a white pencil that I could probably put down as a base if needed. I do also have the NYX Jumbo eye pencil in milk, but I can't be bothered digging that out of my rest of my collection. So we're just going to roll with what we have. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't actually thought about what type of eye look I'm going to go for today. I really want to use this green, or maybe this green. And I really like this orange. This orange is called, let me actually turn up the other way, Golden Hour. So I really like that orange. I've never used that before. And this is probably one of the only oranges I actually have in my collection. How about we chuck in some orange and we'll go from there. Yeah, let's just go for it. Seriously, what's the worst that's going to happen? Okay, so I'm going to start with this orange Golden Hour, and I'm going to put this on my outer corners. Well, I'll say there is not much kick up from the palette, but I have got a decent amount on my brush. So let's have a go. All right. Yep. We're definitely going to use, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to have to get the NYX Jumbo eye pencil out. The other pencil I have is this Savvy by BW eyeliner, but I find that this pulls a bit on my lid, so I'm not going to use that one. I am going to use the NYX Jumbo eye pencil in milk. Another product that I so desperately wanted and hardly ever use. Do you have any of these products like this that you've seen on YouTube being used 1,000 times and you so desperately wanted it, and when you found it, because it's very hard to find these type of things in Australia, unless you go to, say, like Target, and we don't really, well, we have Sephora and stuff now, but originally when I was looking for it, and they're not that cheap, so wish this would stop doing that weird thing at swing. Yeah, NYX. Oh, do you class NYX as a drugstore makeup product? If so, it's one of the more expensive ones in Australia. Really, makeup in itself is quite expensive in Australia. Or maybe I'm just really cheap. Okay. Right, that's hopefully going to be a good enough base to get started. And we are going to start, like I said, with Golden Hour from this palette. Alrighty. We're going to chuck it in the outer corner. My hope for this is that it will be a really rainbow look. Another mirror down here. I'm just going to move this mirror in front of me so I can see what I'm doing. That's annoying. Come on. Okay, so that is my orange laid down. I am just using a flat brush and going with a basic swiping, patting motion. The next shade I'm going to use is this? The next shade I'm going to use is this green up here called Serenity, right next door to Golden Hour. So with a name like Serenity, should we venture into the topic of, is it just me who is devastated by Firefly being cancelled, or anyone else out there who is watching this feeling the same from Firefly being cancelled like 20 years ago nearly at this point? If so, let me down in the comments. Let me know if I am alone in the makeup panning community on this. I was actually also talking about Joss Whedon. I was a big fan of Dollhouse. I got quite into that. I thought it was a really unique and fun idea. And that also got cancelled. So that's a bit depressing as well, really. What can you do? What can you do? I really like this green. The orange I liked, but I felt like it was coming off a bit so-so. But this green is just picking this up again. Serenity, you never let me down. I will say, you can possibly, can you see that right there? I have got quite a bit of fallout coming from these shades, and I will say, even though there aren't huge amounts of kick up in the palette, they do feel quite chalky, which I guess is expected from, you know, a pastel palette. Like, this would probably be a very hard formula to make. Okay, next up, I'm going to chuck some Euphoria next onto my eyelid. Or should I go with Lovesick? Ooh, ooh, ooh. See. No, we're going to go with Euphoria. We're going to do that, which is more of the purple, like a pinky purple, I guess is what you would class this as. That's quite pretty as well. I probably should have swatched this out before I just started slapping it on my face. Ah, too late now. Now, every shadow in this palette is matte. Very, very, very matte. What do I want to do now? Let's chuck a bit more milk in my inner corner. Thank you. Thank you. Then, on top of that, I'm going to use First Light, which is this yellow shade over here. I'm actually quite a big fan of yellow on the inner corner. Actually, to be honest, I'm a big fan of using bright colours in the inner corner. Rather than just using a sparkly shade to brighten it up, I like to try different colours. I think I seen a video recently where Chic Geek, who I'll have her linked up in the cards here, was using a bright blue in her inner corner, and it was gorgeous. I'm actually considering giving that one a go. Now this corner looks really good. This one is letting down the team. That's probably not too bad. That's a bit better. Okay. Now we are going to wipe off this. Then I'm possibly going to grab, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This one. Okay. We're going to use my fluffy brush and hopefully just add a bit of dimension to this colour. So I'm going back to Golden Hour. Just going to add to it. Okay, then we're going to add more Serenity. Are you a Joss Whedon fan, just while we're back on the Serenity train? If so, what was your favourite Joss Whedon series creation? Favourite character even? Oh, that one's a hard one. Favourite character. Oh, come on, I'd have to say Spike, obviously. He was definitely one of my favourites. But I actually really liked Faith as well. She was definitely worth my time. Overall, actually, I wasn't a massive fan of Buffy. I liked her at first, but slowly towards the end of the season, I didn't like certain things she did. I didn't like her character development. You know, I think sometimes, especially in the last season, some of the comments she made, I mean, it's a bit of a hard thing because her friends were being a bit narky to her too, but just certain things. Not a fan. This purple has got a lot more kick up. Can you see that? I've been getting a bit of kick up for that one. But overall, I'm actually really digging this. Lighter colours. Okay. I think bit of kick. I think that is all I'm going to do for the eyes. So I used Golden Hour, Serenity, and First Light. I do think I will, I'm gonna swatch these out for you. I mean, it's a little bit late than never, but hey, let's do some swatching. Obviously my arm is, oh wow, there is a heap of kick up sitting on top of my mouse here. Anyway, like I said, obviously my arm here doesn't have a white base on it. I don't have any form of primer on it, so these are going to be just one swipe swatches with no other stuff. Now let's start with the blue, which is Cloud Free. Cloud Free. And then Euphoria, which obviously you've just seen me use on my eyes. And then Days, is it? Yes. Which is this beautiful minty green. I really like minty greens. Lime greens and minty greens are my favourite. That is super pretty. These are super pretty together as well, actually. Then First Light. This one I can already feel is a lot more chalky than the others. Okay, then we'll go down to Golden Hour. This Golden Hour feels a lot like the yellow. Serenity. Beautiful green. Love Sick, which is a pink. A very light pink. And last but not least, Daydream, which is a purple. Yeah, that one feels very chalky. Worse than the yellow. Let's see if we can just build that up a bit. Yeah, this one's a bit. There we go. So these are all the colours. They are slightly chalky, but I mean, I kind of figure it's expected for a palette similar to this. But also, you should see on my shirt, can you see all that kick up? It is just from doing those swatches, there was quite a lot of kick up dropping down from my arm swatches. But let's see. And they are very easy to kind of blend away. I don't really need to do too much more with that. So that is a little bit worrying, but I guess at the same time it's kind of expected for a palette. That is a Pastels palette because shades like that are very hard to complete. Overall though, I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. But I guess I can't just leave it like that. I think what I'll do, I'm just going to chuck white in my waterline and chuck on my mascara. But lips. Hard questions in life. let's have a look. Let's have a think. What do we want to do today? Should we go with an orange? Maybe a bright pink? What if I use... maybe I should just go plain and boring today. Let the eyes speak for themselves. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. This is not a dust collector. This is the NYX Lip Lingerie in Slip, which is in my Beauty A to Z project, linked up here. But we are going to chuck that one on because I think these eyes don't need too much of a bright lip to go with them. I think just going to let the eyes talk for themselves. I'm going to use this Insta Fix and Glow Rimmel London 2-in-1 primer and setting spray. I have recently got this and only just started using it, and I hate the spritzer. It is the worst spritzer in the history of spritzers. Like, I feel like it just in my face. I've been considering actually, decanting this into the NYX bottle from the NYX setting spray that I just finished up. Though I will say it has a very nice smell. It is perfumey, so I don't know if you don't really like perfumes in your setting sprays. I probably wouldn't recommend this because it is quite perfumey, but otherwise I don't mind the spray. I don't love the sprayer, obviously. And would I say, I can't really tell you if it makes my makeup last longer. I think it does, but I always have these moments of like, is it really doing anything? I can just never tell. So we're just going to chuck this slip on. So I'm never really any good at that kind of thing. Okay. That is that. And then on top of this, which is a bit of a dust collector because I do hardly use it, but I have just put this into a project which I'll have linked up above, the Panner's Pan. This is the B Beauty Lip Lacquer in Light. It is more of a lip gloss in my humble opinion than anything else, but I'm going to stick this on top. I'm generally not a massive fan of glosses, but I don't mind this one. I mean, it's still, you know, a sticky-ish gloss, but... So, just like that. That's a bit different now, isn't it? I don't know if the further I get into this, whether I actually dislike this look or not, but we are going with it. So, where? Okay. Here is my white pencil in Savvy. So, we're going to use this on my waterline. This is kind of one of those items that I'm like unintentionally panning. It's not in a project. I didn't plan to pan it in any way, but I have it out on my counter and I've been tending to use it quite a lot. So it's an unintentional panning item. And now let's just chuck on I can't do wing eyeliner to make any of this different. I don't really do eyeliner along my lines, you know, top of my lid or anything anyway. So hopefully this mascara is going to kind of pull all this together, make it look less weird. I am also using the Kat Von D mascara in, is it Go Big Go Home? That one. I don't mind it, but you know, to be honest with you, I got this in a little set thing, so it wasn't that expensive. It come with a mini of the, is it tattoo liner, but I honestly would not spend this much on mascara at all. I think the Essence ones, for example, are fantastic. I don't have an issue with a lot of the other drugstore-ish mascaras, so I think I would just stick with those going forward. I'm also not actually a fan of these mini ones. I have this mini one, which isn't actually mini, this is its full size, and I hate it. I hate it to so many levels. So then this is open and is in use. I went away for the weekend and I didn't want to use this because I ended up with it all up here all the time. So I pulled out this one to use, and I will say I like this better than I like that one. But having the really short, like this is quite a large brush, but it's got a really short little tippy bit. I've actually found I've had trouble, especially because my eyes are very hooded, which is, as you can see, like look at that, look how hooded these bad boys are. So it is very hard to put on mascara when you don't have very much like wiggle room, basically. But anyway, it is how it is, and we are just rolling with it. I think this has helped out a bit. Maybe I'll put them on my lower lash line as well. Let's chuck some mascara down there too. Oh, the silly mascara faces you make. Also, trying to do it this way I find hard because I also have quite a large nose. So, oh, yep, that happened. Okay, let's, oh, maybe that actually now looks a bit weird. I think I've made it look weird. I mean, it already looked kind of weird. Maybe it's the white. Maybe I should put black on my inner rim. Nah. I'm leaving it. I'm hands off, hands off. We are backing up. We are backing up out of this, and I think we are going to leave it as is. I will say that as this palette doesn't have any shimmers in it, it is all matte. It is, and they're all pastel mattes to be exact. It is not a bit of a standalone, I guess is what you would say. Though that isn't an issue for me. I think that having this as a purely matte palette is definitely the way to go, and then you can put other palettes into use with it. You know, I would, for example, have used this palette probably in combination with my what is this thing called? My Pan That palette. You know, or even use this in combination with another palette that has some shimmers in it, or other shades, even darker versions of these shades, to add some more contrast and stuff. But I do actually quite like the look that I've come out with today. It's very basic, it's very simple, it's very light, but I guess that is the point of a palette like this. Am I happy with my purchase? Just gonna put it it back into its little baggie. Yes, I am. I am happy with this purchase. I do not regret making the decision to get this palette, and even after using it, I also do not regret getting this palette. Yes, the shades are more difficult to work with than some of the other shades, and I did have to put down a base and pat it on, and you're not going to be getting like the pow kind of colors that you would be getting from other rainbow palettes, but that is the concept. The concept of a pastel palette is to be light and fresh and pastel, really. You know, it's a whited down version of a brighter color. Anyway, let me go and do my hair and finish up whatever I'm going to be doing for this look today before I come back, and we will do our thing and finish up. And I'm back, and I decided to also add a little star from this Rimmel stamp tattoo that is also in my Panna's Pan project. So this is it. This is the final look, and I actually think the more I'm wearing it, the more I'm seeing it, I'm kind of falling more for it. I'm starting to like it a bit more. I enjoy very much the green and the purple and the yellow in this palette. I found the orange to be a lot lighter, as in pigmentation wise, than I was hoping. So I wasn't expecting it to be bright and punchy, but I thought it would be a bit more like the green and the purple. Like the orange itself is quite dull, but I guess trying to do a pastel orange can be quite difficult because orange itself is not, can be a bit, you know. Anyway, that is it for today. This is my Get Ready With Me. This is my face using the Beauty Bay Pastels palette. And I'll see you again next month. So I'm Verity. That was the 4th episode in my Get Ready With Me Dust Collector series that I'm doing with Paula from A Beauty Guru Made Me Do It. And now to the outro.